Hi guys, hi everyone. We have today with us Parth. Parth is a non-engineer BBA with 99.92 percentile. Parth, today I want you to motivate every non-engineer how he can target your score, so 99.9 plus, and get into IIM Bangalore or any of the top colleges. So before we go into the details, can you know about your background, where you from, and where you did your education from?
Sure. So I was born and raised in Delhi till about 8th standard. Then I moved to Chennai uh, till 12th. Then I did my BBA in IIM Rota. So in terms of scores, in 10th I got a 9.6 CGPA, CBSE. Then a 96.6% commerce with maths. And then in BBA, I did my BBA from IIM Rohtak as part of the integrated program in management.
Great program, right?
So they have a 3 + 2 year program,
Correct.
and there is an option to exit after 3 years. So I took my CAT in 2021 November, which was my third year of college in BBA, and right now I'm studying in IIM Bangalore.
So, can we switch in the integrated program? Can you switch after 2 years or 3 years? Can you switch to another IIM? Can you do or retake the CAT
No, there's
exam?
no clear, no, there's no switching, unfortunately.
Or you did
You have
4 years there
to
and
take the
then come
CAT.
here?
Yeah, you have to. So I did the first 3 years of BBA there.
Okay, correct.
Then yeah, after that I took the CAT in my
Okay,
third year. The normal VAT PI process,
okay.
short
Normal,
marks and
typical, right?
whatnot.
Correct. So
Yeah.
there's no
So the thing is that
advantage that you are from IIM Rohtak, then no advantage.
no, none at all.
Yeah,
It's just that you
अपना
have
आदमी
quite
है
a
इसको
bit to
एडमिशन
speak
दे दो.
about during your interviews.
Okay,
You have
correct.
quite a bit to speak about during your interviews. Yeah.
Okay, superb. So I have this first question for you because the moment you talk to non-engineer, they start getting fear of the CAT exam comes to mind. Kare CAT बहुत tough है, this and that. जबकि it's tough for everyone, but एक engineer get towards for the bias because अरे हमने सारी उम्र tough exam देखे हैं. So there's no this thing. So did you feel that kind of a thing? Why? What is the main reason why non-engineers get scared from the CAT exam?
I think main part is LRDI and quant. You aren't usually as adept with it as an engineer is. They have prepared for JE. They have, you know, they have done their work during their 11th and 12th, which we usually have not, right? We have our entrances for BBA, but they are pretty easy compared to
Not very
JE
right,
and
correct.
whatnot. So when it comes to CAD and the kind of competition that you face there, it is definitely daunting. However, I feel like it's not impossible that
Right.
way. Like I think we have built up enough skills in BBA and commerce, BCom, whatever you're doing, right? And that does help a lot when you're in the course in MBA in your first year. You have a lot of similar subjects. You have an advantage in that sense. But during the CAT exam, I understand quant and all that. It is definitely a source of issue,
Right.
and it was for me as well. My VRC was one of my stronger points, and quant was definitely where I had to put in most work.
Correct. So if I answer this question the way normally I say this, as an engineer, I'm an engineer by the way. So it's not like we are very good with maths. Is because we have done M1, M2, M3, M4, the higher level of maths, which even I don't understand what I did there. But that has given us a confidence कि चले यार वो कर लिया तो ये तो हो ही जाएगा kind of thing, kind of maths. That's number one. Number two,
Yeah.
the way you said कि even you were not that great with maths. So what I should do if I'm aspiring to be a CAT aspirant, I got around 5 months का time from today. So what I should do? What advice
Hmm.
would like to give to everyone कि यार तुम ये कर लो तो तुम्हारा math थोड़ा improve हो सकता है. And again, you don't need to be a topper.
Yeah.
You just have to clear the cutoff.
Yeah.
So what any
I
advice you
agree.
like
I
to give?
agree. I think the most I learned was from mocks, definitely. So what I used to do was watch videos. So I did not take any coaching for context. I used to watch videos like yours and Rhoda and whatnot, other YouTubers who were giving out content on YouTube, and that really helped me create strategies for CAT for maths. Mostly giving mocks and taking every question as an opportunity to learn. I think that mindset is very important. कि यार ये question बहुत hard है तो छोड़ देते हैं. In
Correct.
exam, that is the right approach. However, post the exam, that's where you get the most learning from, because they will mix 2, 3 topics together and see how you're combining all those things. I think that's the only way to go about it. I gave about 50, 60 mocks during my entire CAT preparation, and that may not be the same for everyone, right? There are people
Correct.
who
It
do it
not
with
well.
5 mocks, right? So, but for me, that was the most important part. I feel like you get the most quality questions in mocks, and you get to know where you stand. And obviously, the results won't be consistent throughout mocks,
True, true.
but that's where you ultimately learn the most from. You obviously need to have your basics in place. Uh, so just a second, I hope there isn't much disturbance in the course, and if that's the case. Uh, However, yeah, I was saying you need to have your basics in place. You have to do your workbooks like Times, Yale, whatever workbooks you have. And post that, you need to start doing mocks from the starting. And now that you have 5 months remaining, it is kind of taking me back to my preparation trip when I had 5 months remaining. I think at this moment, mocks are your best bet. Uh, taking every question as an opportunity to learn and seeing where you can do that.
Right. Great. Great. So one thing which you've said is right. The moment people get scared, I think this is where the CAT preparation actually starts. When the course is scary, this means if you can crack this thing, and don't expect you to crack it on day one. But if you try to understand the solution, try to understand the process, what I recommend everyone, do a course in such a way that tomorrow if you see this question, you should know how to solve it. I think that's one of the biggest trick you can have. Okay,
Yeah, I
tomorrow,
definitely agree. Yeah.
correct. If you can do that much, I think you can easily clear the cutoff required for the exams. Okay, yeah, Parth, you are the one of the very few students who have met who have got 99.92 in CAT and 99.92 in uh, that also. And normally that happen after 1 month of the CAT exam. And by the time people are already stressed out. So what extra you did for the that exam, or how you got that much marks in that also?
So funny thing is that in CAT, VRC was my savior, and in ZAT, font was my savior.
Okay.
So you can't really bet on only one section. Right? You have to have at least two sections in place so that on DTA, when one thing goes wrong, one section you bomb, you have at least one more section to save you. Right? So in terms of my preparation post CAT, what I did was mainly focus on the decision making section, as that is a new section in ZAT compared to CAT, and that's where I focused most of my attention from, except for taking a few ZAT mocks, previous year papers, as well as mocks from these institutes. I think that's pretty much what I did, as well as some GK, as there are some GK section as well in IFT as well. There was GK section, and so I did prepare some GK, but that was very limited. Mostly the decision making section, and the DM section can go either way. Really, you can't really precisely judge where you stand in the DM section
Correct.
because it's very subjective that way. So my preparation was mostly just revising everything that I had learned from my CAT preparation, as well as additionally just doing the DM prep. And thankfully that worked out as well.
Correct. Anyway, after the CAT exam, all you need to do is give as many mocks as possible, because apart from DM, obviously the DM is only the change part. But if you give mocks, that's more than enough for verbal and maths, because anyway, your maths and verbal is covered in these two in this area. Okay, Parth, next question to you is we are conducting this event called Vista. So what is the value of attending these events? Because if you look at the parents' point of view, nahi beta, study karo bas, you get your marks and you will become a good boy and this and that. So what is the value of these kind of events before to join the MBA college and once I join the MBA college as well? So two questions are combined together here.
So before joining the MBA college, there are two things, right? So one is in terms of your outcome perspective, you have your interviews coming up, right? You need to have things to talk about. And definitely these kind of events really expose you to a lot of personalities, a lot of people in different fields who have, gone much further. So you're able to learn a lot from them, and you're able to express these learnings during your interviews. And I think that creates like that does create a difference. Secondly, it's for your own personal ambition as well. You learn a lot personally. You think to yourself, do I want to do an MBA right now? Is this the right opportunity for me? Right. So that way also, I think it really helps. So one is the interview aspect. The other is the personal, professional aspect. You do develop in that aspect. Post your MBA, I feel like it's purely professional. You kind of understand how do you take these learnings to the work environment, as well as to the classroom. and I think that's where the value really derives. Because you can only learn so much from the books and from the professors in the classroom. Most of the learning in B school happens through discussions, peer learning, and by attending these events. As these guys have also been in B school at some point of the time, then they have done their startups, then they have, you know, held really big positions in these reputed firms. And those learnings you really won't get in the classroom. And those broad level viewpoints are really necessary to incorporate early on in life. I feel like it really helps you professionally that way.
Correct. See, one more thing, especially those who've taken the gap year. So their resume is normally very blank. And especially if you can get an event, and this is my advice to all the students, that there should be 1 or 2 events from the IIM ka brand name on the resume. You go to any college, whatever you say, the IIM brand is there in the market. So you need to have that thing on the resume as a student, or if you can't get on the resume as a student, then at least as a participant or organizer or some kind of an event which you have done in one of the IIM. So this will always help you to grow. The extracurricular activity column is always full. Fine. So Parth, thank you very much. The main advice which you have given is give as many mocks as possible. So practice as much as you can. Great. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for the interview. Just one more tip that I would like to give, right, for a quant, especially for non-engineers, because I've been there, right? One is creating a question bank of these harder questions that you faced and the approach that you had during that time. So I feel like when you go through these questions again and again through your question bank, it really solidifies. And I think that really
Correct. The question
I
bank
think
notes.
that really helps just before the details. Yeah, so you really need to make notes. I used to take screenshots of all these questions that really troubled me during the mocks and all the learnings that I derived from it. And a week before D-Day, I really went through them one by one, went through all the mocks. And giving mocks is one thing, and learning and solidifying those learnings is another.
Correct.
Right?
Improving
You
from
have
the
to do
mocks.
both.
Correct.
Right. And secondly, for DILR, that was also one of my weaker sections and where I suffered a lot in terms of inconsistency. So set selection is the most important thing, as everyone says in DILR. And after every mock, so you have to have parameters based on which you're selecting some sets and see if you were able to correctly choose the sets after every mock, right? And then you tweak those parameters mock by mock, right?
Correct.
And that way, after you give enough mocks, your set selection, at least that part is sorted. And whatever happens on D-Day is, there is a lot of luck to it, definitely. And do not get discouraged if things do not go your way. Always have a backup. Thankfully, it worked out for me, but it can go either way. There is a huge element of luck, but preparation is the other part. You have to give yourself, you owe it to yourself, give yourself the best chance on D-Day. So that's all I'm going to say. Thanks a lot for the opportunity.
Thank you, Parth. Bye. Good night.
All right. Take care. Yeah. Good night.